Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 16 of the You Should Fact Check This podcast. This is going to be a rough one. Not necessarily because of our abilities, which...
They've all been rough.
They're all rough because of our abilities, right? This is... There was a mass shooting yesterday in Texas. And, you know, whether or not you think we should have some thoughts on it, we have some thoughts on it. And that's how this podcast is going to work. If you don't want to hear our thoughts, you probably shouldn't listen. So that's most likely going to take up today's episode. And I know Peter has some ideas and some thoughts on this that he wants to kick off right away. So,
I do?
Yeah, Peter does. So we will, we'll go in a little bit more before Peter gets worried about messing up. Yesterday there was a shooting at, I don't really know how to say the...
Uvalde.
Uvalde.
That's my guess.
Yeah, that's a guess. And 15 people in total were killed, 14 of them being children.
Dude, I saw 21.
Was it more than...
Pretty sure
yeah,
20,
19.
Yeah, 19 kids,
children
2
and 2 teachers.
Yeah.
Wow. I missed that. I saw it yesterday, and it was a different stat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody already knows what the stats are and what happened to that extent, but I don't know. I've seen a lot on social media, and I don't necessarily agree with it in total. But let's start off with what are your thoughts, Peter? Where are you going on this?
First of all, super sad.
Yes, obviously.
Obviously super sad. Yeah, I mean, I think murder is one thing. I think killing multiple adults is one thing. I think mass shootings of adults is, yes, terrible, but also one thing. But when someone goes into an elementary school and kills little children, that is, excuse my language, so beyond fucked that, yeah. So, with that being said, this is the second elementary school that has been shot up in my lifetime. I think, right? Because Columbine was a high school. And then Parkland was a high school.
Yep.
So 4 school shootings.
Both of those were in...
I think there are more, but
Colorado, I think.
4 main school shootings. 2 elementary schools. Okay. And what have we done? Absolutely nothing. We send our condolences. We talk about how we need to strengthen background checks and how we need to shut down guns and take away everyone's guns. And you know what? It's not going to work. It hasn't worked. It's not going to work. So, stop.
Stop what?
Stop telling the government to fix it.
I agree with you.
It is... I am sick and tired of hearing these rich, wealthy assholes, celebrities, come out, make videos, and get all these retweets and praise from people they don't even know just because they're celebrities and they say, we need to make a change. It's about gun rights. It's about background checks. You know what? When a sick fuck like that wants to kill 20 kids, he's going to get his hands on a weapon to kill 20 kids. It does not matter about gun control. It doesn't matter about background checks. It is ridiculous. So, you know what you have to do is protect the one thing you can control, which is make the school a safer damn place. Like, I could walk. I live next to a school here in town, an elementary school.
You shouldn't be able to walk in.
I could walk into a back door right now and go through the halls and look at every single classroom before I even get stopped.
You should not be able to walk into a school, for sure.
It's just ridiculous. Like, I'm so sick and tired of these rich people coming up and being like, I'm saying it, I'm putting my foot down, we need to make a change. Like, I'm so sick of talking about this. It's like, you guys have millions of dollars. Do something about it. You guys are the only ones that can do something. Donate $2 million to your public school system for security. And if you don't trust them to use it wisely, then work with them hand in hand. And
the hilarity of that is like you saying if you don't trust the public school to use it correctly, they're putting all of this on the U.S. government to fix it, which is hilarious because
right.
Where do you think any of this shit goes?
Right.
Like the amount of change that you have to affect, for one, to get rid of guns, to change gun rights, to do all of that is one of the hardest things that you could possibly do in the United States of America.
I mean, at this point, with as many guns as we have, it's impossible.
We have 12 guns for every 10 people in America.
Yeah, it's impossible to take away guns. And it's just the way it is. So
and it's ludicrous. It's a stupid idea.
Yeah, it's dumb.
What we should be doing...
Look, I'm going to say it, and this is very controversial, but guns do not kill people.
No.
People kill people.
I
don't own a gun.
I own many guns.
I do not own a gun. I have shot a gun once, and I used to be, when I was growing up and in high school, I used to be very anti-gun. But you know what? When you see people get shot and you see people die, and you realize that it's politicians going on camera and celebrities going on camera and saying that gun rights need to be controlled. And then here we are, 10, 15 years later, and we're doing the same thing.
Well,
it's just stupid. Like, get a brain and realize that gun rights are not going to be, it's not going to change.
So this is like, it's hard for me to understand the other side of the argument. Do you know what I mean?
Take guns away?
Well, for one, I don't understand where those people think how they think that would ever happen. They have way too much faith in the U.S. government.
Well, New Zealand did it, Devon.
Yeah, New Zealand. New Zealand did it. And then New Zealand got locked down by their government during COVID. And everyone was like, well, the right to bear arms look pretty nice right now. Because if something really were to happen, they would be able to protect themselves or stand up to the government.
Well, I mean, it's just like England, I believe, this is going to have to get fact checked. I believe England is the leading country in stabbings. Mm-hmm. Take away their knives. You don't realize how stupid that sounds?
No kitchen knives.
Do you realize how stupid that sounds? Like, it's the same thing. America is the leading country in gun violence. Take away their guns. Yes, guns can kill more people, but like that is one of our basic rights in America is to own a gun.
Well, and one of the biggest problems is everyone's like, we need more, restrictions on guns, blah, 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 blah. All of that, more gun control, gun laws. The guy that did this shooting broke multiple laws.
Yeah.
When owning this gun, when using this gun, he had a larger capacity magazine, which is illegal. I mean, the idea that people that want to hurt people aren't going to do it, whether there's a rule around it or not, is ridiculous. Having a gun-free zone is fucking hilarious because the people that listen to that are the people that are going to protect the other people from the people that want to hurt them.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, there's so many problems with this. For one, we have mental health crisis in the US. Like, we have people that don't understand how to fucking control their... I mean, some of it is these people just can't control themselves. Like,
but it's not even people with mental health, though. You just have racist people, like the one in Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, the one in Buffalo, so, like, for sure.
But it's like... Yeah.
I think... So, some of it is around mental health, right? We need more mental health initiatives, understandings. Mental health is such a strange topic for me. I don't really understand mental health in total. I don't get how it works personally. I support it for sure. It's hard for me to wrap my head around how it works. However, I do think that there's a lot of situations where it can help and it can be super beneficial. From two people who've played sports their whole lives, the mental health side, the mental coaching, that sort of stuff around sports is, I get that to the extent that it helps in sports. But to the extent where if someone's going to kill someone or themselves, the mental health side to that, how you talk them down from that, how you teach them that that's not okay, I don't understand that. It's not something that seems like a viable option because it seems too arbitrary. It seems like there's too much ambiguity in how all of that happens. That person can lie right to your face and you would never know. You could make that person could make you feel like they're cool. They're all good. Nothing's ever going to happen. They're not going to kill anybody. They're not going to kill themselves. And then they could walk off a bridge 2 minutes later. Like, there's no way of making that super well understood. You know what I mean? It's not black and white.
Yeah, I mean, I just disagree with the mental health aspect, with the mental health stance of guns as well, because when someone has mental health issues and they think of that they're going to go shoot up a school, do you really think they're going to go get help from a psychologist or a school counselor at this point?
Well, no, so that's not what I'm talking about. Right?
I know, but that's a stance. Is that...
Yes, that's ridiculous.
It's like...
So one of the biggest things around mental health, and this is something that I understand wholeheartedly because I've gone through some of it, is if you are willing to get the help, that's one thing, right? But you could be super fucked up and be like, no, I'm not getting any help, and there's nothing that anyone can do about that.
Right.
For mental health coaching, for mental health, for psychology, for all of that stuff to actually be beneficial, the person has to be willing to let it happen. And other than that, it's like you're shouting into a giant tunnel. There's not much that's happening. But where the mental health needs to be kicked in is youth areas, right? This is a long development style thing. This is not something that happens overnight. This is 10, 20 years of, like, you have to have a whole new generation go through new, stuff in terms of mental health initiatives that I have no idea where they come from. Right?
Yeah,
I don't know how it's implemented. The government sure as hell shouldn't implement it because they suck at that shit.
Yeah, for me, I don't know.
What do you think? What do you think is? This is fucking ridiculous. We've had more shootings than there are days in the year.
Do you know what would have sent an absolute message?
What?
That people actually care and that our government actually cares. If Biden got up on his podium and instead of saying, we have to change something, we have to do this, we have to do this. Dude, you're the president of the fucking United States. Like, have some balls.
Well, what does he say?
I would have put a National Guard officer in every single school this morning. You had the National Guard cleaning up hospitals during COVID. Like, why would you not put a National Guard officer at the front of every single school the morning after a school shooting, armed? Concealed, but armed. Give a high five to the kid as they walk in. Like, are you... And you're telling me a shooter wouldn't come into the school?
I mean, it's hilarious because, here's the argument. I don't want my kid to have to go to school with an armed guard out in front of the school.
Well, what do you want?
First of all, there are schools already in the United States that have armed guards out in front of their schools.
They haven't been school shootings there.
Well, I'm guessing that's probably why they're there. I don't know for sure why, but I'm pretty positive. And you know what podcast this is. So I'm pretty positive that there are armed guards at schools in the United States.
All right, here's what you do. Here's my plan. If I were president.
Let's hear it.
President Pete stepping up to the podium. Okay. You just spent like $4 billion on the Ukraine-Russia war, right? 40 billion? Yeah, cool. Awesome. You take a fraction of that money, you redo all the schools in America, and not even redo them. All you have to do is add a security system to where it is locked permanently, and you can only unlock it from the inside. Okay? And so there's going to be the front door, there's going to be a desk on this wall and a desk on this wall, 2 National Guards sitting there with a metal detector in the middle. Okay? And then there will be another locked door on that side. So you have to get through the first locked door, you have to go through the metal detector, and then you can then go enter the school. Okay? Every single other exit needs to be locked up, boarded up, change doors, no windows on them, nothing you can break, steel door, emergency exit style, no handle, just a push to get out. And you can still have windows, obviously. But, like, if there's the probability of a school shooting goes so far down with 2 armed guards, because by the time the other one gets shot, the armed guard is shooting the shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
this is like minimum, right? This should be standardized across the country as soon as possible.
That idea,
right?
I know.
Yeah.
I already emailed it to Joe.
On top of that, there should be incentives. There should be trainings. There should be free classes on learning how to use a fucking gun. We should get every single person who is willing and able to carry a firearm to be able to carry a handgun.
I wouldn't carry a gun.
Because the best way to combat someone who's fucking crazy is someone who's courageous and honorable with a firearm.
Are you going to get a concealed carry?
Yes.
But you can't take it into schools.
I agree. That's why I said yours is minimum, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying, is that what's the point of a concealed carry permit if you can't take it into
This
school?
isn't for schools anymore.
Okay, you're talking about
Your
like the
idea
grocery
takes
store
over schools.
The grocery store shooting.
Yeah,
in
your
Buffalo.
idea takes over
Yeah,
schools.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right?
I agree, yeah.
But
I don't think everyone should have a concealed carry.
I didn't say everyone. I said everyone who's willing and able.
Okay, yeah.
That takes a lot of people out of the equation,
Yeah.
right?
I'd probably carry. I don't know, if I could get like a cool sock holster.
One of the sexy holsters.
Yeah.
Pull
I
up
would
your-
definitely have, like, for when I own a business, for sure going in my business. For sure going in my glove box. And for sure going in my nightstand. So I'll have 3 guns.
So
But I don't know.
this is not a top.
Maybe I
This
would.
is
I don't know.
This is not an idea that people like, right? I'm pretty sure the stats around 4% of the United States are concealed carry owners.
Yeah, I mean, I know multiple people that have a concealed carry. And
Well, you
carry all
live
the time.
in the highest state for concealed carry.
And they're not in Montana.
Really?
Yeah, Yeah,
That's amazing that you know that many people, because it's only 4% of the United States, which is a very small fraction.
I mean, you know them too. You just don't know that they carry.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I know that they carry.
And they should carry, and I appreciate them carrying.
Yeah.
If you get that number up to 25% to 30% of the people who are able and capable of carrying, these things are going to end a lot quicker.
Well, yeah, I mean that, but like also like, I mean, we weren't old enough to remember this, but like after 9/11, what they did to airport security, National Guard was in every airport, literally walking around the entire airport with just machine guns.
Yeah.
Just assault rifles. So like, you provide that same safety in schools, hotels, any building where there's a mass gathering of people. Like, have you ever been to Washington D.C.?
Yeah. Many times.
So like, if you go to the Capitol building, has exactly what I'm talking about.
Dude, I was in New York.
Or any Smithsonian museum.
I was in New York 2020, the very beginning of 2020, right before the pandemic. There are armed guards, armed officers, walking around in packs of 6 with assault rifles, just walking the streets.
Dude, you know why?
They have the same thing in Paris. They've got hella armed officers with AK-47s just patrolling.
You know why our politicians don't do anything?
Because it's good for them.
It's good for them, 1. They make a ton of money, 2. And 3, they're protected because they have security detail that are fucking carrying the whole time.
Well, the main thing is a lot of these people. This is a topic that hits home for every goddamn parent in the United States. I mean, any person with some,
Yeah, my mom was crying last night.
morality, this hits home.
Yeah.
And if you're a politician and you really want to get elected, you don't really have to do the work. You have to say, I'm going to get the gun control. I'm going to get shit under control. And then you get in and you don't have to do shit.
Dude, I'm serious. I am announcing my election campaign.
Okay, Peter, what are you running on?
Me, Peter.
Okay, well, that's not how that works. only like 100 million people know who Peter is because they've all listened to this podcast. But
yeah, I don't know what I'm running on. But yeah, I don't know.
well, these are these are topics. I have to pause for a second. 1 second. Sorry. Hey, Grampy. Grampy? I can hear you now. Yep. I'll come by your house. Yeah. I'll meet you at your house at about 2:35, 2:40. Okay. Bye. All right, I'm back.
Okay, so I also don't agree with like the fact that people think that teachers should carry.
I don't think teachers should carry if they don't wanna.
No, I don't even think they should carry in general.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because their job is to teach. Their job is to teach in a safe environment, so they shouldn't even have to worry about that, right?
I
That's
agree.
like saying
Yeah.
when you're 18 and you're in high school that you're allowed to carry. It's like, no, your job in school is to learn. You're
Well,
not.
that's not
you're
what
not-
I'm saying.
No, I know, but like, teachers shouldn't be allowed to carry. You are there to teach children. You shouldn't even have to worry about whether or not you need to carry a gun or not. And I think it is the job of external resources like armed guards or et cetera, to keep the school safe, not a teacher's
So
job.
the problem,
That is,
the problem is, right, we're living in a fantasy world with your whole idea.
we're living in a great world with my whole idea.
Absolutely, but it's a fantasy world. It's not happening.
It's safe.
It's not happening.
It's safe.
It is safe. It's not happening, though.
I hate
now.
to say this, and this is going to hurt a lot of feelings, but this is going to happen again in 2 years.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change. Another elementary school is going to get shot. It's going to happen again.
You know what I love, honestly? And that's like the worst time to say this, is that I don't know the person's name.
Oh, yeah, I heard it.
I don't know who it is.
Get this. It's a Hispanic name. So, what political party this aligned with? I don't know. They're saying it was an illegal alien.
Okay.
And that we need to close our borders.
Well, that would be the right.
The guy was from North Dakota. He's an 18-year-old from North Dakota. And he drove all the way down to Texas.
Allegedly, I just saw this. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, said that there were messages on Facebook. The first message was, I'm going to kill my grandma. The second one was, I killed my grandma. The third one was, I'm going to go shoot up a school.
Yeah, weird that we have all this regulation and like people are watching our phones and Facebook and shit, and that slides by the radar and like.
Well, apparently it was in a one-on-one text communication on Facebook.
But still, like you're telling me that's double encrypted and they can't see it?
I mean,
I don't think it is.
Yeah, but okay. How many users does Facebook have?
You should just there's got to be technology where you can just like say
there
like
is
kill
there is.
Whenever kill pops up in a conversation, or shoot or
there
school.
There is for sure. However, I mean, how often are you going to be able to really understand what that means?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then it like alerts you that okay, this person said shoot. Okay, you go to the message and it's like, oh, I'm going to shoot some pictures today. And it's like, oh, okay, they're not a threat.
No, I understand. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about when it says, I'm going to go kill people. I'm going to go shoot people. How do you know that that is legitimate? I'm going to kill you.
Illegal. That's illegal to make. That's a threat. That should be
understand,
followed up
Peter.
on every single time.
Followed up on every single time?
Yes.
I don't think you understand what resources that would take.
You call the North Dakota field or the police
He wasn't
department.
even in North Dakota.
Where
he was in Texas.
Okay, then you call the Texas Police Department.
How do you know he's in Texas?
There's a location
Just on the message?
on Facebook.
They're not always tracking your location.
I bet like 90% of the people they are.
I think that you're getting into a world that you do not want to be in.
Look, I don't want to be in that world, but it happens anyway.
I agree.
Like it's almost as naive to think that every single thing we text and send isn't looked at by another person. It's almost
What
as
the
naive.
fuck? No, it's not.
Okay.
Looked at by another person.
Not like looked at, but like they have access to see it.
Yeah. I mean, they have the messages, depending on what you use. If
I'm
you
not
use,
saying they look at it in real time. That's impossible.
if you have something like Signal, no one's looking at your shit.
Right, but yeah.
If you're on iMessages, right now people aren't looking at your shit.
People aren't?
No,
Why do you say that?
because Apple has a very strict privacy policy. If Apple turns the tables, absolutely, they could look at it all. But right now, their whole privacy policy is very extensive.
Do they follow it?
As far as I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, I think a company like Apple is a little more honorable than a company like Facebook.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, they're about building really good hardware. They're not about data mining. They don't sell data to make money. That's Facebook's job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's naive to think that everything we look up or Google or
Absolutely everything you Google is
well, I know Google,
used.
but everything you look up or send or do on your device, I think it's naive to think that it is not like ran through some sort of system.
Yeah, it's ran through an algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your iMessages are not ran through an algorithm.
Like what we're saying right now is picked up by our phone. So if we started talking about Target and all we started about was talking about Target and how great
that
of a
has not
store
been
Target
proven.
was. It's pretty proven.
No, it's actually not.
It's proven with my phone.
Well, you can say that, but a lot of it can also be circumstance.
That's some
I
pretty
haven't
creepy
seen
circumstances.
I haven't seen any evidence yet that says wholeheartedly, and I could be wrong for sure, that those microphones are being used all the time.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. My main thing is that you need to. The guns are not the issue. The people are not the issue. The mental health is not the issue. The one thing you all of those things are external circumstances. Like you can't control another person's mental health. You can't control whether or not they reach out for mental health help. You can't control guns. You can't control so many factors. But you know what you can control? Safety in hotels, in malls, in schools, in public places that aren't privately owned.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that.
Right. And back to what I was saying, where we're living in a fantasy land with your idea, is if that is not the case, right? If that is the case, if you go to a school where you have armed guards and there's one entrance and one exit, or there's one entrance that you can actually get in, a teacher should not carry a firearm.
Yeah, 100%.
However, if you're in a shitty part of town and you trust yourself to protect the students at your school, I don't think that they should not be allowed to do that.
I don't know. I still don't think they should be carrying.
I fully agree that once your school is fortified, you should not carry.
I don't think they should carry regardless.
Okay, continue.
Like, let's take a kindergarten class, for instance.
Yep.
Do you realize how many kids are, like, touching your legs all the time? And...
Right. I think part of it should be education around guns. Should be something that's taught about in schools.
I mean, then you're getting in that touchy subject of, okay, are we going to educate pronouns as well?
Those are very different. Pronouns never killed anybody.
Oh, suicide.
Okay, yeah, suicide.
No, look, teachers are to teach kids math, reading, social skills, writing, the alphabet.
Here's one, okay? You have a security. Maybe you have the lowest level of security on campus, right? You have one guy, and he has a handgun, okay? His sole job is to make sure that the area is protected. Your school isn't fortified. However, you have a box under a couple of desks of teachers who have gone through classes, who have done extensive training, and are willing and able. If something breaks out, there's a button pressed, that box is unlocked, that teacher has access to that gun.
I don't know. I mean, I could get on board with that, but I'm not on board with educating the kids on guns.
I think kids should be educated about guns for many reasons. One of the leading causes of death, or a big cause of death for guns, is accidental shootings.
I agree. Yeah, no, I know. But I think that's a parental decision. I don't think that's because part of what you're saying is willing and able. So if an adult is not willing to carry it himself, or herself, that usually means that they wouldn't want their kid to be willing and able. Right?
No, I agree with that.
So I think that schools are a place to learn curriculum, math, social studies, writing, reading, social skills. It is not a place to learn parental private decisions like guns, like pronouns, like...
I agree. I agree with a lot of that.
So I think in a lockdown scenario, yes, there needs to be a better safety than turn the lights off and close the door. And I suppose a box in the rooms wouldn't be a bad idea. But then you go into the thing of, what if the shooter picks a room and the teacher wasn't willing and able?
Right. No, I understand that. However,
so it's either
a lot of the problem
no
is the response time of police.
Right.
Whether or not the person is in the right classroom, there can be an alert. The box can open, and then that teacher can find their way to where the suspect is.
But who presses that button?
That's the security guard. I told you that.
What if security guard is the first one to get shot?
That's a great question. I haven't fully thought it through.
That's why you need 2 security guards, both of them armed. One gets shot, the other one shoots the shooter.
This is an early stage idea.
You heard the idea. It is flawless.
Peter, yes, but it's extremely capital intensive.
I don't care.
Right. I don't care either. It should happen.
I'm sending my kids to private school.
Yeah. Hopefully you have the financial abilities.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. There's no way.
Right? I mean,
no,
Lachlan currently goes to a school that is locked off like that. Unless you have a password to get in the gate, or unless you go around the front and can get in the front, you can't get in the school. There are no...
Do you ever worry about him?
There's no metal detectors. Peter, I worry about my brothers every goddamn day. Well, every time they leave.
Is there...
Because they could get into a car accident.
Well, yeah, I know.
Anything can happen.
Is there an armed security guard there?
No. There is a security guard. He's not armed.
What's the point then? I'm sorry, but what's the point of having a security guard if you're not going to be armed?
That's a great question. You want to hear a hilarious story?
I'm serious. Like, seriously. What's the point?
Here, let me give you an idea of what a security...
Tase a guy with an AR-15? Like,
let me give you a funny story.
Hit me.
So, me and my friend Christine were hanging out last summer, I think it was. We came back to where our cars were parked, and we were talking. And it was after hours of the restaurant that we were parked at, right? We left the restaurant in one car and then came back and we were parked there talking. The security comes up and starts yelling at us that we have to leave, that it's after hours, we're not allowed to be there. I got into an argument with the security guard because he was being an ass.
Shocked.
Right? And he proceeds to like go behind my car and take a picture of my license plate, which for one isn't going to do fucking anything. And for two, I started backing out right when he did that. And then he ran up to my window and said, "You tried to run me over." And I said, "Hey, what are we doing? Do you want me to leave or do you want me to stay? Because I'll do whatever you want." 3. Yeah, I know. I texted you back, didn't I? I did. Okay. I said, "I'll do whatever you want. You tell me." And then we got into this huge argument, and he said, "I'm calling the police, and anything that you have on you, alcohol, drugs, whatever, you're going to be written up for." And I said, "You're talking to the wrong guy." And then he proceeds to call the police. And I was like, "Okay, I'll wait. I'm privileged because I can. I'm not worried about the cops. You know, I'm a white male."
You didn't do anything either. So
I also didn't do anything. Yes. But I was hanging out there waiting, and me and him continue to argue while he's waiting on the phone. And he gets so mad at me because I was like, "Dude, what is happening? Why are you upset with me?" And he said, "This is like coming over and and fucking another dude's girlfriend." And I said,
What?
"Nope, I'm parked in a parking lot." And he was so upset. I sat there for 25, 30 minutes. The cops never answered. This is their security guard. And he decided, "I'm just going to go sit in my car now," because I had been talking with him and I was like, "Dude, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, are you okay?" I asked him, I was like, "Are you all right? Like, do you want to talk about something?" And he's like, "No, dude, fuck you. You're such an asshole." And I was like, I mean, all right, man, whatever. And he went and got into his car and sat down in his car. And then I backed up and was like, "Hey, man, do you want me to continue to wait here?" And he just ignored me.
Jeez.
And then I left.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I can't get on board with... So, roll the Steve Kerr video.
Okay. Yeah. Way to not finish what you were saying. No, that's not the right one.
So this is the sports take of the day. Because, all athletes always have an opinion.
Steve Kerr.
Yeah. Look, I love the guy. Great basketball coach. I'm a big Warriors fan. We don't have to watch the whole thing. Just play it. The play button, bottom left corner. Yeah. Just that play button, bottom left corner. I really hope that's on the podcast. I really hope you don't cut that out. Just Devon getting so annoyed. There you go. Press play. I can't hear it. It replayed. I don't even know what point I was going to make. Yeah, big fan. No, because I looked. I did some referencing. And
So wasn't ready for this to come up. I said, wasn't ready for this to come up, Peter, huh? Wasn't planning on me pushing you on this one.
no. So California removed policemen from schools recently during the defund the police thing. They removed policemen from schools, and Steve Kerr celebrated that.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oops.
And it's
That's
everywhere.
a big ol' oops.
And it's everywhere. Like, I'm sorry, but like the left, you can't defund the police
And want to protect the kids more.
and want to protect the kids.
That's
It's
not how that
shocking.
works. No, I mean it
It's
is
shocking.
true. This is kind of a funny, not funny, but it's kind of an ironic standpoint because during all of the George Floyd stuff, everyone was like, defund the police, get rid of the police, all of this shit. Like literally, I had friends that I care about and I value their opinion that were saying that we need to defund the police. And I said, I don't think that you understand what that means. For one, you've lived a privileged life in the terms that when you call the cops, they show up. Do you know what happens when that doesn't happen? I mean,
It's ridiculous.
It's absurd to think that we need less police officers. What we need is higher paid police officers that have better training.
But then our taxes go up.
Right. Or we could spend less on military.
Or just make police officers part of the military.
Or that. Right? There's probably many solutions to this problem, right? It's not one size fits all. There's many ways of figuring this shit out. But we don't.
But those two men that we both saw, probably great men. Cool. But one is a senator, right?
He was
Or
a
he in
senator.
the House? I don't know. Yeah. One is a senator. What is he doing? Begging his other colleagues to change laws?
Well, so
Go out and work with your local public school county and fund the whole safety thing
Right,
yourself. When
what we
that happens, a new senator does that, and then
Lead by
another
example.
senator does that, and then there's another senator
I agree.
does that. oh my gosh, if Steve Kerr goes and does that, Steph Curry does it, Klay Thompson does it, LeBron does it. Like, are you telling me that school that LeBron built, you want to bet that how safe that is? I bet it is so safe.
I have no idea, but I hope it is. I hope it's safe. I hope all schools are safe.
Yeah, me too. But
I agree. They should lead by example. However, one of the things that he said is, why are you here?
For money?
Money and power, right?
Yeah.
So if one of the reasons that you're there is because of power and one of the reasons that you're there is because of money, both of those don't necessarily point to protecting schools.
Right. They probably just don't even care.
Yeah. I mean, we have a broken system in terms of that. Senators make a fuck ton of money betting on the stock market because they are setting the rules for these companies. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of the reason that they're there. They are not necessarily there because they want to make this place better. They are there because they want money and power.
And that's why, if we want to make a difference, it's going to have to be private.
I would be very interested to see, because they have that data, how much Chris Murphy has made in the stock market.
Let's see. Chris Murphy, stock market. Probably won't come up. How do I find this? You're probably better at finding this than me.
What were you just looking up?
His net worth. I just Googled Chris Murphy stock market.
No, before that. Before that. Huh?
What do you mean?
Well, you were looking up something on your phone. Where was that in?
Oh, I was trying to find how safe the LeBron James school was, but I can't find it.
His isn't that crazy. A lot of this is
he's one of the poorest members in the chamber.
that's a flex, dude. No wonder he's begging on his hands and knees.
Yeah. So it sounds like he's just dumb.
Holy shit. What's his fucking name?
Chris Murphy.
I don't even see him on here. I don't know. I think that
maybe he seems just like a good guy, honestly.
Well, one of the problems is that I don't know about Chris. His seemed pretty well thought out. So did Steve Kerr's, but I'm not sure Steve Kerr understands the reasoning, for one, behind how and why this person killed 21 people, and two, what he's asking. And
yeah, because he's talking about the background checks. It's like, dude, that's
right.
Not
like it could help. I mean, it could prevent a couple, possibly. I mean, for sure it could. However, like we've talked about, if they want to do it, they're gonna do it, and they're gonna find a way.
California Senate passed a bill Tuesday to allow private citizens to file suit for at least $10,000 against makers or sellers of untraceable ghost guns or illegal assault rifles.
I mean, what the fuck's that gonna do?
I don't know. What
That just means that you can sue the company who has illegal guns on the, like, out in the market. But you're not gonna see an illegal gun unless you're being shot by an illegal gun, right?
They did it right after the Texas thing, so I'm sure
I don't know, but I'm sure that I don't know that that kid got his gun illegally. He definitely had a couple of things that were illegal about his carrying of guns. Like, you're definitely not supposed to carry guns across borders, even state borders.
You're not?
As far as I know, no. But there's just too many variables.
See, and I don't agree with Barack Obama either with his
What did Barack
comments.
say?
Our country is paralyzed not by fear but by a gun lobby and a political party that have shown no willingness to act in any way that might help prevent these tragedies. It's like, cool, dude, just separate us further. It's not party against party, dude. You're the one.
Dude, I wish fucking for, like, I wish we had a goddamn
He didn't do anything when he was
president
president.
who would stand up and say, I don't give a shit what political side you're on. Like, if you want to work with me, come work with me. We'll make shit happen.
Like, Barack didn't do shit when he was president.
I don't know. I was too young to pay attention, but
gun-wise, Sandy Hook happened on his watch. What did he do?
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
He got he went to the school. Beautiful.
I hope they're not taking
he was on
Biden there. Let me tell you this. I hope they're not taking Biden there, because that would be a disaster.
Go to Texas, small town
Dude, he
Texas,
would start talking about kids touching his leg hair under the water.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
He should not be. I mean, the amount of stuff that they've had to walk back on what he said just by saying that it was an outburst. It's like, hey, our president shouldn't have an outburst. Our president should understand what he's talking about.
Salvador Rolando Ramos was the shooter's name.
Well, I didn't.
Said to be a high school dropout fascinated with guns.
That's not.
After
Let me tell you, because he was fascinated with guns was not the reason that he killed people.
That doesn't mean anything. After turning 18, Ramos immediately bought a rifle, which he later used to murder at least. Okay.
What we've been talking about for an hour.
Former friends and family of Ramos says he stopped showing up to school after the pandemic. This is why kids should go to school and get socialized. Adding that Ramos experienced bullying for his lisp and for sometimes wearing makeup. Interesting.
Let me tell you. I'm going to say this, and people are not necessarily going to like it. You need to get bullied. We've said it before. But he's not going out shooting kids because he's getting bullied about his lisp. Dude, that kid is scared. The only reason that the only reason that you would go and shoot up a bunch of kids is because you're not confident enough to go and shoot up anybody else.
He used to shoot random people with a BB gun.
Oh, well, whoops. Red flags. Beep, 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 beep. Shoot random people? How did he not get absolutely obliterated?
Because he was in North Dakota.
You would think that in North Dakota, someone would go beat his ass. Oh, man. That's incredible. That's actually... I want to know who he was shooting, because that's hard. That's baller. If you're just sitting out in front of your house shooting random people with a BB gun and saying, oops. That's crazy.
Oh, man.
The worst part about all this is this is a great analogy for, wanting help or not wanting help. We can sit out here, we can beg, we can plead, we can get down on our hands and knees and beg our senators to make decisions. But if these people don't want to, they're not going to. If they think that they're right, they're not going to.
Right. And most people this crazy enough to think that they're right to go kill elementary school kids are that way.
And quite frankly, the fact of the matter is that we could put so many regulations in. I think one of the reasons that England leads in stabbings and in acid assaults is because they don't have guns.
Probably.
So, I don't know what to do. Do you know what to do, Peter?
I've told you what to do.
No, I did like it. I loved it, actually, Peter. I think that your school security plan is fucking the best plan for protecting our youth.
But
no,
it's not gonna happen.
And that's what's unfortunate. You know what? You know what we need to do, Peter?
And it's gonna happen again. Is elect me as senator or president.
And then we need to get a bunch of people that agree with us, and we need to elect them to all the other positions, and then we got to rig it. All right? So we make all the money.
Maybe I'll run
you know
for
what's going to be funny is one day I'm going to end up like running for something, and they're going to call back to this moment.
I'm going to run for school board.
Here, Peter, I have a better idea. Let's make a lot of fucking money, and let's lead by example.
No, I want to keep my money and then just ask others to do it.
Baller. That's baller, dude. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. That was sarcasm for those of you that didn't read that.
All right. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the You Should Fact Check This podcast. Please like and subscribe and share with a friend. Please let us know where you disagree, if you disagree. We want to understand. We'll dive into it again. We'll talk about some of the disagreements if you leave a comment. No one's left a comment yet. So please tell us why we're wrong, and we'll fall back on it. We'll probably, cry a little bit, but that's okay. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Deuces.